Hello and welcome to the Practical Animal channel. The channel is for you if you want to know what it takes to work with animals. Domestic animals or wild. If with wild animals, then with free living animals or animals in captivity. Whatever your interest, whatever the sector, we aim to cover it all. Most weeks we feature interviews with animal industry professionals who speak about their careers and the skills and qualities needed to do what they do. I've done a series of videos where I've talked about my own experiences in the animal industry as a lecturer in animal management at a land-based college. Today I want to talk about another experience that I've had, and that was working at a very big falcon breeding facility. So I'm going to talk about the skills and personal qualities that you need to work at such a facility and what to expect. The busy time is the breeding season at such a facility. The breeding season runs from the beginning of February, roughly, to the end of August. This varies depending on whether or not the birds have an early breeding season or not. But as a rough generalisation, that's when it takes place. That's the busy period. Working at a falcon breeding facility, you may be given a choice between working on the yard, doing general duties such as, for example, weeding or jet washing clean, perches and aviaries. Or if you're more involved on the bird side, you will be responsible for a falcon or several falcons, getting them to accept you as a mate if they are imprints. A lot of falcons on commercial falcon breeding facilities are imprinted birds. This means that they are imprinted on humans and they see humans as mates. So humans can go in and extract semen from imprinted male falcons, and the semen is collected on specially modified headgear, and this has been used in conservation of breeding birds of prey in captivity as well. So the techniques that are used in falcon breeding can be used for endangered species of falcons, for example the Mauritius kestrel, or they can be used for commercial falcon breeding, such as breeding hybrids of gyr falcons and peregrine falcons. Falcon breeding with imprinted falcons involves, as I say, semen collection from imprinted male falcons. The male copulates on the specially modified designed headgear of the person that male falcon is imprinted upon, and that semen is then collected up in a special pipette and transferred to an imprinted female falcon. This way production can be assured and run on a very efficient basis. Having falcons imprinted upon you during the breeding season in a commercial falcon facility is a huge commitment, and people who are imprinting falcons really need to be on site all the time throughout the breeding season, ready for when the male is ready to donate and the female is receptive. Most pens, if not all, at a commercial breeding facility will be fitted with CCTV. Pens usually follow a fairly set design, and female falcons are monitored by CCTV fed a top quality diet of quail, depending upon the facility. The one that I worked at, they were fed quail, fresh quail. The routine was always to prepare the food from 7 o'clock in the morning through until, at the height of the season, lunchtime. We always used to prepare fresh quail, freshly killed quail, because the protein content was very high. The quality of that protein was very high. What I mean by that is the protein was easily ingested by the breeding birds and by the growing chicks. Chicks were hatched out in incubators, so eggs were collected. Pairs were often double clutched to double productivity. That means taking the eggs and putting them into incubators. There was a dedicated incubator room on site. The room also contained brooding machines, incubators and brooders, so that once the chicks had hatched, they could be brooded, and then depending upon the individual pair or the requirements of the facility, the hatched chicks could then be put back with the female to brood, or they could be fresh reared. And once the chicks were placed in the pen, then they could be monitored by CCTV. And we used to say that if the chicks were strong enough to jump off the perch, the nesting ledge, onto the ground, and then they were strong enough to fly back up onto the nest ledge, then they were ready to go into the hack pens. The particular site that I worked at had 5 hack pens, and groups of falcons were put in there, cohorts of chicks were put in there to fly around, to mature emotionally, and after a period of several days running into 2 to 3 weeks, the chicks were sufficiently strong on the wing to be caught up. There was a trap room, and we put freshly killed quail into the trap room. The chicks would fly down, take the quail, and on trapping day we would trap the chicks up, place them into thoroughly cleaned and prepared travelling crates, whereupon soon after they would be shipped for export from the nearest airport. So what I've said is not a sequence of falcon production, but it does, I hope, give you an insight into what to expect should you be working on a commercial falcon breeding facility. It was, for me, a really special experience, and I valued it very much. And if you have persistence, passion, tenacity, if you have stamina and endurance, then you may want to consider becoming a falcon breeder, being responsible for imprinting adults so that chicks can be produced that are the result of artificial insemination methods. Falcon breeding is quite a big industry in the UK now. There are several falcon farms up and down the country. Some of the biggest are quite well known. So the skills that are needed, the personal qualities, I've just touched upon. The skills, well, you need to be aware of biosecurity, of cleanliness, that's fundamental. You need to be confident in handling birds. You need to be confident in handling pipettes and the semen collecting hat, and it really is quite a privilege. I hope you've found this video interesting. If you have, please like the video, and for more exclusive content on wildlife, the countryside and the animal industry, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.